Hey there guys, back with a new lesson today, and it's a very quick and very simple one. It's about how you can hear the modes. You know, the modes that confuse you the most. We will take a simple concept. We will play some of the modes in just one string, just using one string. If you remember from previous lessons, using one string is the first step of learning any scale you want. Okay, so first step is to lay down the intervals using only one string. For example, for the purposes of this lesson, we will use the D string and the D note on the 12th fret as our tonic, as our key. Not our tonic, our key. Okay, so this is the D note here. First, let's start from the thing we know for sure. Let's say we want to play a D major scale in one string, but we don't just start playing it up and down. We just add interval by interval. Let's start by adding the two intervals that follow the root. The D, the major second, okay, two semitones apart, and from the major second another two semitones apart, the major third, okay. Okay, we all know it, it's nothing very difficult. The interval of a major second, the interval of a major third. So basically what we are doing, we are spelling out the construction of the major scale. Okay, next to we have one more interval that is very close to the D note, and that is the major 7. Okay, a fret apart, a semitone apart. And we call it the leading tone because it wants to resolve to the tonic. Okay, so as you see, we always end to the tonic, so we get the sound of the major scale. And if you paid close attention, we just used 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, okay, and 7, the major 7th. So let's say, for example, we will use just those 4 notes, the 1, the 2, the 3 and the 7, but this time we want to use these degrees to play the D minor scale, not the D major scale, the D minor scale. So we follow the intervals of the D minor scale. It's that simple. So instead of playing, we almost immediately hear the difference. Why? Because the intervals here are different. The first, the second is the same, but this is a flat third, not a major. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 is here. And the 7th isn't in this scale. The major is the flat 7. So 1, 2, flat 3 and flat 7. If we play the major, okay, we almost immediately hear the difference. Let's say we just want to use these 4 notes to play the Phrygian. The Phrygian is, again, we are looking for the construction. The Phrygian is 1, flat 2 this time, and flat 3. So not this. This is the minor scale, 1, 2, flat 3. The Phrygian is 1, flat 2, flat 3, and the flat 7 is the same as the minor. As you can see, the only difference here was the second degree, that was a flat 2. The minor scale was... Okay, I hope you can see the concept. If you adding the degrees one by one, you will find out that you can absorb the mode's qualities much faster. And of course, it's very crucial that you study a mode on its own. So you want first to learn, let's say, the Phrygian very well before you move on to another mode. Okay, the point here I'm trying to show is that even if you change a few intervals, the whole sound changes. Why? Because we are in the same key. We are examining our modes parallel. What that means is that when we I know that you've heard before that whatever mode you choose, it corresponds to some major scale. For example, the D note here. Okay, if we say we want to play D Phrygian, someone will say, okay, D Phrygian is the third mode, so you have to find the third mode of the corresponding major scale. So it's the Phrygian, the D is the third note of the B flat major. So someone will say, okay, play the B flat major. Even if that is correct, I don't want you to view it like that. I want you to know it theoretically like that, but when it's time to play anything, follow the intervals. So, Phrygian, minor, major, Ionian. Okay, so as you can see, we used just 4 notes and we played 4 modes. We can continue and adding intervals. Let's say we add the 6th degree. In the major scale, is this one, okay, a major 6. In the minor is a flat 6. Okay, but as I've said before, you don't need to study them all together. I'm just showing you this stuff because it will help you correlate certain things. For example, if you write the intervals of a certain key, for example the D, you will find out the modes of a certain key. You will find out that for some modes many intervals are the same. For example, we played the D major scale here. Okay, as you've seen, we played the 1, 2, 3, 7 and 6. We forgot the 4 and the 5. Okay, the 4 and the 5 was we forgot it on purpose, simply because you will find out that the 4 and the 5 it's the same. Either you play D major scale, either you play D Phrygian or D minor, D Aeolian. Okay. In this case, it's G and A. Okay, if we played the Phrygian, 1, flat 2, 3, but the 4 and the 5 the same. Okay, if we play the Aeolian, the natural minor. Okay, so when you study the modes and you write them down, you will find out that many, you will know, not you will find out that you will know after a while if a mode has a major second, if it has a flat third, all those things that you find so difficult to understand. Okay, so sorry. So if you see something like that, you understand immediately that this is Phrygian, because if this is the root, one semitone apart is the second. If you see flat second, it can't possibly be anything else, okay? For example, if you see one major second flat third, it could be either Aeolian, natural minor, or Dorian, okay? So you start making those connections. Major, Phrygian, minor, okay? So my point, the point I'm trying to make is learn your modes parallel. Find one key, D, G, anything, doesn't matter, and start adding intervals. Let's say to yourself, we are going to study the Phrygian mode today. So, first thing, I'm going to spell the Phrygian. 1, flat 2, flat third, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. Okay, 1, flat 2, flat 3, okay. Flat 7, flat 6, 5 and 4. We just played the Phrygian mode in one string. And one more thing that it will be very beneficial for you to do is spell the intervals out loud. You don't, you can do it as an improvisation drill, but what we are doing here is know the distances of the interval. So I want to play a 1-3 in the Phrygian scale. 1-3, the 3 this time is flat 3. I want to be able to see the distance clearly. Play the 1-3-4. 1-3-4-2. Okay, so 1-2-3-7. 1. And things like that. Okay, so you must be able to not only see intervals one by one, but then put them together and make scales and modes. The thing that gives people grief is that they think that the modes is something very difficult, very exotic, that is very hard for them to learn. But the point I'm trying to make when I'm trying to teach someone the modes is this: you all learn your natural minor scale. Okay, the natural minor scale, when you learn it as a different scale. We all know now that it's the 6th mode of the major scale, but when you start learning it, no one says to you, you won't have to play the minor scale, just play the 6th degree of the corresponding major scale, blah blah blah. Okay, so if you want to play the A minor, just find the C major and start from the 6th degree. No one does that. We all learn the minor scale as a separate scale. The same deal applies to the rest. So what do? Take a mode line up the intervals 1, 2, 3, 1, flat 2, flat 3, whatever the mode construction is, and start playing it first on one string. When you get good at playing the mode at one string, then start adding the second string, the third, the fourth. I think it's crucial not to start by using all the well-known block shapes of the chords, okay? Doesn't really matter. For example, I played the Dorian. It's a well-known shape, we all know it, but if you do it like that, up and down, up and down, up and down mechanically, then you don't hear the sound of the mode. As you could see, we didn't need a backing track to hear the flavor, the sound of the mode. Why? Because we were constantly getting back at the root, and the root reminded us where the center was. Okay, so this sounds major and this sounds minor. Why? Because we ended up in the same root, and this sounds Phrygian. Okay, so if you want to get anything out of this lesson, learn this. Okay, follow the intervals. It's okay to know which third mode of which major scale is, and you know all those all those mathematics behind it, which is the sixth note of this major scale, which is the third note, and things like that. Very important too. But when you play a mode, when you want to learn a mode, you learn the intervals and then you learn the mode's sound. And this exercise helps you learn the mode's sound. Okay, so try that and tell me how it goes. Take care.